Hey, if you are trying to build a perfect credit score in 850, number one, is that even possible? Do Unicorn 850 credit scores even exist? And if they do, well, what are the steps to follow where you could actually get an 850 credit score? And then my last question, should you even want to have a perfect credit score? Is it worth it? Are you going to get a great return by doing that? That, my friends, is today's topic. So let's get started. All right, my friends, so if you're loving these videos that are helping to empower you with money, finance, credit, all the things you weren't taught in school and college but really should have been, that's our mission. How can we empower you, get you the mindset and the information so you can make great decisions to grow your business when it comes to money, finance, and credit? So that said, let's get started here with a little bit of background. So here's my experience when it comes to credit. In my 20s, I started my first business and I needed to use my credit to secure creative financing. I got $40,000 within a couple years' time, my first seven figures business at age 25. And then the 08-09 recession came and I had made mistakes. I didn't reach out to mentors, didn't read the right books. Credit took a tumble, rebuilt it again in my mid 30s to, a 750 plus. It's been perfect for nearly the last decade, and it's opened so many doors to build wealth and be a successful entrepreneur. So that, my friends, is really the foundation for why you want to and need to have good credit. Are there exceptions to the rule? Absolutely. There's an entrepreneur or two that have, started a business, did it, they had terrible credit, weren't able to use it to finance a business. But for the majority of us, the roadmap to success is definitely much easier if you have good credit. If you don't right now, well, let's go over the steps that it takes to get there. So there are 5 steps actually to building a perfect credit score, an 850 FICO score. Number 1, you need to build multiple credit accounts. So what does that mean? Well, you need to have credit card accounts, you need to have auto loan accounts, and you need to have mortgage accounts. Those are kind of the AKA big 3. If you can open those 3 types of accounts, that's going to be very powerful in building a strong credit history and put you on a path to an 850. So step 1 again is build multiple credit history accounts, credit cards, auto loans, mortgages. You probably want to avoid and pay off student loans as fast as possible. Those don't help you build credit. All right, so that's step 1. Step 2 is you want to set up auto pay with all of your payments that are on credit, right? Again, the big 3, the credit cards, the auto loans, the mortgages, maybe you have some personal loans and some student loans. Guys, these have to be on auto pay. The technology's there. Now, I've been in a situation where, I'm a little tight on cash, and so I got most everything on auto pay, but my big payments, like maybe my mortgage, rent, other things, maybe I don't have those on auto pay or an auto loan, and maybe I'm being very careful to make the payment within 5 to 10 days of the due date. As long as you're not 30 days late, it will never impact your credit. And if you are having a weekly money date to review all of your accounts on credit, make sure they're on time. That's very important. If you're using the myfigures.com money manager to do that, that's a great resource to help make sure that you're on top of your business and personal expenses with auto pay. So payment history, very important there. That's step number 2. Step number 3 is you have to manage revolving credit card accounts and unsecured or no collateral lines of credit very well. Now, if you need to max those out to grow your business, that's understandable. You can do that temporarily, but when you're looking to get financing, when you're looking to acquire more capital, you have to pay your credit cards down. That's a big part of your credit score. If you want to have an 850, you really need to have your credit card usage probably at around 5 or 10% of the limit or less. So if you have a $10,000 card limit, you want to have that balance somewhere in the neighborhood of $1,000 or less. Now, if you're just trying to be able to qualify for financing, you're going to need probably a 720, a 740 credit score, at least a 680. And so if you keep the utilization there around 30%, a $3,000 balance on a $10,000 card, that will be very helpful. Next, new accounts and inquiries. You want to very strategically add those. When you go apply for funding and financing, do it only once a year or only once in a while so you keep your new accounts and inquiries low. but you strategically use them when you need to access money. That's step number 4 to perfect credit. And step number 5, and this one's going to surprise a lot of people. And sometimes, we'll hear Dave Ramsey, cut your credit cards up, don't use them. That's fine, but please keep them open. Average age of accounts is very important in keeping that high credit score. And so that's why Grandpa and Grandma often have a really high credit score, because they have a credit card that they opened back in 1980, and that is really having a positive impact on their credit. So at the end of the day, let's go back to those 3 original questions that we had when it comes to credit. Do 850 perfect credit scores exist? Yes, they do. What are the steps to follow? We just went over the 5 steps to have that 850 credit score, but the most important one is, should you even want a perfect credit score? I would say to you, no. If you're a 750 and above, you can pretty much access all of the top financing, the lowest interest rates. Maybe it's at times a 780 with some mortgage qualifications, but a 750 or 780 is going to be more than enough. You do want to keep it above there. You don't necessarily need the 850, but most importantly, your credit should be used to get money, not for bad debts, for personal reasons, but to use for business opportunities and investments that are going to generate a much bigger return. And that, my friends, is the 5 steps to building a perfect 850 credit score.